Hey, this is for Heart Shape Beauty Day 28. I am happy it is a wrap because it was sort of a lame month for me. I know because I explained before the different problems I had with posting storage wise and the speed of the uploads. I mean, it was really just very lame. Um, March is a whole different energy. We'll talk about March in a second, but because it's a wrap up, I wanted to tell you I have your blank printable calendar ready along with the YouTube playlist. So remember, I have the Google Drive link in the profile in Instagram in which you can access all of the different printables and the different folders for each month of exploration that we do. So you'll see the folder there now for Heart Shape Beauty Month. You'll see the calendar that you can print, and let's just explain the calendar real quick. So the calendar is blank, meaning you fill out the month and day for the month and year for whatever time you're doing it. These blank boxes will work for any month. And then you have, in this case, I have categorized and grouped all of the different categories of movements of the glute exercises, and then some instructional verbiage at the bottom. These columns are as before, pretty much, where you would log the number of days of the week that you actually put in a glute workout, and then here you could log either your time or your reps. Okay, so also here is the link to the YouTube playlist. It's always nice to have the playlist. Oh, and one more thing. So if you were to pick some exercises from these categories, the categories I'm referring to are in order to make sure you get a complete glute training, you want to have be a little intentional, right, in the different types of movements that you do. So we have your bridge or thrust, your lunge or squat, your abduction movements, right, like this, and your hinge pull, like your deadlifts, and then finally the miscellaneous, sorry about that, which I just categorized as multi-plane. So if you were to go through and pick one of these exercises, then you'll also see the day or the number post reference so that you could just skip to that day. If you wanted to, I would suggest that you always look at the first few videos in order, because there's explanations and assessments and such, and the that's the calendar. Okay, a couple other things to reference. So remember, we did the journey benchmark around like the 10th or 12th day in February. So today would be the day, or the last day of the month is a day where you would repeat that journey benchmark, and those were the End Range Jane Fondas. The end range meaning that we're starting at the peak contraction, and on that, what we did was we made sure that we're not only out here on the side, but that we actually swing that leg back a little bit in order to get that glute med engaged a little bit more, and then lifted it as high as you can, and then from there, that's when you would pulse up. Okay, so that was the End Range Jane Fonda. So remember to take your leg back behind you and then take it up as high as you can, keeping everything engaged. Okay, your elbow under your shoulders, don't slouch into it. Everything is engaged. Then take it to your peak contraction. Just holding it here, you should be just oomph, okay? And then raise it from there. So your reps start at the end range, okay? So if you had done your journey benchmark and had noted the reps that you could do before you start losing form, this is when you would repeat it. All right, so let's talk about March. March is a whole nother energy for a couple of reasons. Okay, so first of all, I won't be doing any of the recordings for the expiration in March. We are going to have one. It's going to be the March Motivation Month. So you will have fit motivational posting. But the reason why March is a whole different energy, the first one for me is it's my birthday month. It's also my son's birthday month. So I'll just be busy celebrating. I won't have time. Not that I had time before, but I will have time to try to do daily postings. And then in general, it's March is usually a whole nother energy in general because February, I mean, I love February because it's got, Valentine's Day, and then we have the President's Day break and Black History Month and all of that. But in the productivity space or in the business space, February is sort of a lost month. March has the spring energy. It's also the end of a quarter. And it's always good in your fitness journey to give it as much attention and treat it with as much respect and intention as you would in business or in your school or whatever. So we have these quarterly times for a calendar year, and this is when we take a look at how the quarter went and take a look ahead into the next quarter and into the next year. Now, when it comes to what's happening right now in February 2021, there's a lot of quarantine and lockdowns being lifted, and people are already sort of in a panic about all the weight gain, that they've experienced in the last year. And then if by the end of June, at the end of the next quarter, we end up having a fairly full lift of the lockdown, well, that coincides with the warmer weathers in the States, and people are going to want to be going to the beach, and for any sort of a lasting and effective body transformation, we really should be looking at a 6 month to a 1 year lead in. But if you wanted to start something in April and do something concentrated for about 2-3 months, that will totally work too, depending on but March will be motivation. April and May will end up going back to or for the rest of the year I'll have the different months lined up. So I'll still be having the Exploration March motivations postings going up in March. I just won't be doing these almost daily sort of video uploads. So I will see you at the end of March or the beginning of April with whatever new explanations we're starting. To give you a heads up, we'll have something for in the coming months. We'll have something for pistols. We'll have something for the arms. Okay, I'm not really big into specific training, but we'll do something for I don't know what to call it yet. It's going to be really a like 50-50 neurological and body control. Okay, and we'll think of some other fun things along the way. I have to kind of sit down and plan all that. But anywho, take a look at the calendar. If you didn't do the month, it's available for you along with any other prior months. So we've had burpees, we've had jump roping, we've had active ready, we had tiny movements. So we're just going to build these up, and there is absolutely nothing to be lost if you repeat it, because every time you repeat it, you've had a break from that focus, number one. Number two, you will be able to level up, right, with the different leveling up options, and just to keep continuing down your fitness journey. And so take take the March time to, assess and reassess and plan and realign. And for me, I have to reassess my life pretty much, every minute, but you know what I mean. Take that time to do so, and repeat a month from before, or do a month from before if you would like. And I will see you in April.